several months since we played Divinity Original Sin. I tried to watch a little bit of the end of the VOD. Jaden actually joined me at the end of this game last time, and I more or less lost track of what was going on. We're just focusing on that. Thank you! This name is lame. Appreciate that, dude. Update the spreadsheet right away. I need an intern, man. I've got way too many systems that I have to manage manually. I'm able to take care of it for the most part. I almost had an intern at the end of the year last year. If you guys will recall, before the hiatus started and we got the Price family to move out here. Let's try this. We were going to roleplay our female character as Andrea and our male character as me. Trying to rescue this character if we can. AP cost is a little bit too high, though. So we're trying to, like, escort this dude, basically. Where to use Ricochet? Range power stance, Ricochet. Just barely reach him. It did an okay amount of damage. That wasn't so bad. I'll try to move a couple more squares here. Good night, Kaihan. Sleep well. Does he just run on his turn, presumably? Some people's Wolframs. Working on it, buddy. Chill out. Alright, my abilities. I think my big important one was Battering Ram, I want to say. Looks like that'll get me there. Nice, and it was a knockdown. I don't have enough action points to attack, but he's going to have to spend his next turn standing up, right? So we should be okay. So let's end turn. I think I remember how to do... Oh, let's not attack Wolfram. He doesn't deserve it. Sorry. Gotta find the end turn button here. I really like the combat system in this game. It's very clever. I think I split the party last time I was here too, so I gotta find my other characters. Alright, I think I have to look up how to end my turn. I mean, I guess I'm just gonna move the rest of my AP right now, even though it's a waste. Hold B to end turn. Okay, thanks, game. Good looking out. Can shoot him from here, right? Nice. Sweet. Don't move so fast, jerkwad. Ooh, Andrea's flight got delayed. It's a huge bummer. The kitties miss her. She misses our comfortable bed. It's a bummer of bummers. Y'all come this way. Can I unsplit? Oh, we got a group to do that. Working on it, man. You gotta chill way out. Drunk at the airport. Hype, I guess? You excited about that, Andrea? This game gets a lot better once you have a full party, too, I feel like.
I'm 1 foot in the grave here. Help me!
Enough action points. We'll keep moving then. Lucky miss. Got a prayer center automated call? That is a pretty weird. Most RPGs do get better when you have a full party. I guess it depends. Some games are pretty brutal when you don't have a full party, right? Like Earthbound in particular is really punishing in the early game when you just have the main character. You guys hear the game audio okay? It looks like it's pretty quiet in OBS. I'll try to keep adjusting it. The music in general, I think, is just quiet.
Eternal silence awaits you.
Poor Wolfram. I don't think I have any way to heal him either. Prey pots. Nice, saved up an AP to get 2 hits off. I guess they both failed though.
Please, crush these fiends before they crush me!
There's all my abilities. I started to get really worried there. Like, what happened to all my skills?
You don't have a leg to stand on.
Knocked him down. Hopefully that protects my ally a little bit because he has to spend AP to stand up. Yeah. Thanks, Saki. Appreciate it. I'm role-playing the girl character as you, Andrea. I really like that UI for doing that.
You call to Wolgraf.
No, shut up. I gotta go rescue the guy I'm escorting so he doesn't die. Where'd he go? I don't think he shows up on the map at all either. Yikes. Did he make it, maybe?
You did it! We made
Hey,
it!
first try.
Oh, cheers for escorting me to safety. You're a godsend, you are. I'll be in the King Crab clearing the dust from my throat. The drinks are on me if you'd like to partake.
It's a pretty good deal, Yugupo. I need to get a an Xbox One X. I think I need a PS4 Pro. That would be nice for like God of War.
I'm overheating here.
leave an oven door open?
Toasty!
I basically made the worst possible decision in terms of timing when I bought my PlayStation 4 and my Xbox One. I think I bought both of them like months before the upgraded console was released. Those are all absolutely fantastic games, is my understanding. Okay, let's see if I can look up my quest journal here and figure out where I want to go next. I just finished a quest by helping that guy out. Quick save. Actions. Sneaking. Attacking, which we don't want to do. Top-down mode. How do I get to my quest journal? Could open to other players, but I think I just want to play it normal for now. Here we go. Log. So many quests we were in the middle of. Wolfram made it back safely. Lieutenant Selene would be pleased to hear that at least one person survived. Alright, I'd love to go find that person. Guess I never looked at my journal. I'm still trying to take care of the murderer quest because the dog dug up a body. Got some folks to deliver. Now, I don't think I can set like a quest marker. This is the morgue. We don't want to screw around in there. Guess I'll explore further outside here. There are a bunch of enemies here. That was a really good doggo. Dug up a body for me.
Leave an oven
Good look
door
out
open?
there, Hunter.
I feel like I've
lurks
just had
beyond
a long
Cyseal's
bath in a
ramparts.
cold lake.
It goes straight to raining
I'm
outside,
drenched.
which makes perfect sense. It's a Drudene. Oh, it's a kind of flower, I guess? I don't think that's a real world flower, is it? Don't walk through the poison next time. I really like the controls in this game. They're very tight. Wolgraf. What's your deal, buddy? You want to just wait and build up your AP? Yeah, the PS4 is becoming increasingly attractive. Like, I wouldn't even have an Xbox One if I hadn't already invested in the Xbox 360 for Rock Band DLC. There's basically nothing on the Xbox One that's exclusive. And there's a lot of exclusives on PS4 now. Are any of those timed? Like, is God of War always going to be a PS4 exclusive? It's frustrating to me. It's like, I hate exclusives. I think that they're awful. They're anti-consumer, but at the same time, like, they're very persuasive to me. Like, moving to a cone behind enemy to attack. This will back from an instant critical hit. Gotcha. Let's go for it. What abilities does he have? Cloak and Dagger, teleport away leaving a smoke screen, become hastened for a while, inflict bleeding. Nice crits. Dude, he's pretty buff. Alright. I like having a rogue character in my party. Good god. I'm excited to see Divinity Original Sin 2. I've heard it's very good. It's a really big improvement over this one, I've heard. So I'll save her turn here and try to build up AP. Right, we don't need 5 different computers hooked up to the TV. Like, I definitely see the point of having gaming-focused consoles, not just requiring everyone to get a gaming PC. Having struggled with PC gaming frustrations enough, I definitely see the benefit of having a PC. But, I really like that cone. This game feels really polished. One of the most polished CRPGs I've played. Like, it feels like this is doing for the CRPG genre what Bravely Default does for JRPGs. It's really great in that respect. And I especially see what Nintendo's trying to do, right? Nintendo puts out specialized hardware that's very different from what you get on a PC, in most cases. And the Switch is probably their most straightforward production in a while, but even then you still have stuff like the gyro in the Joy-Cons that you don't really get that experience on a mouse and keyboard. Alright. Correct. See if I can charge somebody here. It's a nice engage power. Sweet. Whoops, poisoned. I think the zombie has to die pretty quickly because it heals. Great. First parties have pumped so much money into games with that much creative freedom if they weren't benefiting from them as system sellers. I suppose that's true. It's a good point. I haven't really thought about that before. A lot of the times you're getting these games because they're exclusive and wouldn't get them otherwise. I guess I was just barely out of the critical range for that ability. Bummer. Let's try to not stand in the poison, it's probably wise. She's Bear Daughter. She's the daughter of a bear. I don't affect she. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a fair point. I gotta give that to you. I think maybe it's one of those situations where hating exclusives is like kind of the easy why don't they just path. Why don't they just make games not exclusive? Well, it's not that simple.
My heart beats too slowly to sustain me.
She's about to die. I think I do have healing though. Oh, I love that backstab indicator. This is fantastic. More games to do stuff like that. Okay, so I think I have healing on this guy, right? Generation. Resurrect a dead ally. Let's use this. That's all we can do otherwise. Nice shot. Brilliant. We'll have to finish this guy off, would be really nice. What does bandage do? Heal yourself or a nearby target. Every console's online store feels so bad compared to Steam. man. No kidding. It's interesting. I feel like they have significant financial incentive to get their shop interface right, you know? Not that that's free to do, but if you're going to spend money on something, spend money on making it easier for people to spend money, right? I can destroy this. Attack. So I can walk behind him. Oh yeah, attacks opportunity. Good about that. Standing in the poison is probably a smart idea. Everybody suggests that. Thanks, Eternus! Appreciate that! Listen out.
You're super awesome. Thanks. Appreciate that.
I appreciate that, man. Courage, I think, is pretty good. Costs 3 AP. Should probably just burn him down for now, though.
Reach your demand.
First try. Alright. Got a bunch of shit we can pick up here. I think I had a loot all button, didn't I? There it is. I'm a fan of that. Nice! How'd you feel about Dark Souls Remastered? Moving backwards, also, how did that feel? Like, was there anything that was reverse nostalgic in Dark Souls 1 after you had already played Dark Souls 3? I love that series so much. I had no idea I was gonna love it as much as I do. Dark Souls is definitely like adult gamer Marstead bait. All the stuff that I've grown to appreciate more as an adult that maybe I didn't care for as much as a kid. And then games like Earthbound, I think, are much more kid Marstead. Nice. Yeah, I don't think moving backwards is too bad. There's no incentive to develop your own unique, polished, refined platform if you're not going to have exclusives. Otherwise, it'll all just be a variation of Windows, Android box. Yeah. I mean, I keep getting these emails from Atari. Like, they're making their own console again. And I'm like, I don't know if that's a good idea, guys. I don't know if that's going to end well for y'all. I appreciate what you're trying to do, theoretically. But, like, what makes your thing special at this point? And, like, how can you catch up? It seems like the catching up part's going to be really hard.
I feel better already.
Oh, is it supposed to be a retro machine? So the mails I got about it sounds like it's going to be a new console. I think there's probably a market. It would be very expensive, but for a third party to try to make a
As good as a new penny.
an emulation machine, like not for running ROMs or for stealing games, but have a machine that is very specialized for its pixel perfect emulation of multiple systems, and then contract from Nintendo, Sony, so on, to sell the games in a digital storefront. Basically what you have going on with Steam right now, but for console games. The only problem is a lot of those awesome games are, like, companies that made them are defunct. So finding someone that can give you the rights is going to be really challenging. It's fighting for attention. I think that's another why don't they just desire. Like, if IP rights weren't what they were and it wasn't so hard to reclaim a dead game, I'd love to have somebody just focus money on specializing in that, you know, with the cooperation of the big developers. console's been on borrowed time for a while. Yeah. I think that the cheaper and less confusing thing, so you have to put yourself into the perspective of someone who's not as patient as most gamers are when it comes to trying to play a game, and who aren't as tech savvy as most gamers are. It can be easy to forget just how tech illiterate most of the population is. And like, I've definitely had times where I've tried to get something on a console just so I didn't have to deal with bullshit when playing with other people. Yeah. It's more of a pain than we give it credit for, I guess I should say. Oh shit, I didn't mean to do that. Bummer. I guess I'll take another step here. Bummer, what a waste of a turn. What are you gonna do, I guess? Alright, enemies can body block ranged attacks, keep that in mind.
The time of your death is at hand.
Everyone needs a computer anyway, yeah. I wonder how much of that is generational. So like, Jaden's not terribly computer savvy, at least not in the way that I was when I was his age. So I don't think that it's just something that comes with growing up with the technology. Like, for example, the other day we had unplugged the Ethernet cable from the computer in order to plug it into the Xbox One. I think we were playing Quantum Break on stream, and I needed to quickly get an internet connection so we could watch the cutscenes, because that's the way it's designed for whatever reason. And he really wanted to use the internet, and he went to his computer, and he couldn't connect, and he just kind of gave up. He's like, well, I guess the internet's broken. Whereas I feel like a lot of us, like, if you had a problem like that, checking that the cable's plugged in would be the first thing you'd look at, right? What's a computer? Yeah. Oh my god. Still's on cooldown. Shit. He's gonna die soon. I gotta go rush down their healer up here, and we're gonna have a bad time. Let me see what I can do. Because they're outpacing the damage I can do right now. You can shoot through allies though, right? Yeah. I will not be following E3. I mean, I guess if anything particularly exciting pops up, like a new announcement, I'll hear about it that way, but... Like I've mentioned before, I'm not a big hype guy. What's this say? It's on cooldown. Shit. Battering ram... Try to go for whoever was healing before. This guy? It's gotta be this guy, right? He's the only mage. Alright, knockdown. No, the Clover just full heals every round for some reason. I'm not clear on why. Interesting. Oh, stuff at E3 can be thrilling. I try to avoid getting hyped for anything if I can help it. I think I've mentioned, never really seems to increase my enjoyment. Can only make it worse. Gotta kill this guy. Now I can heal, so let's go ahead and pop a heal here. On poor Wolgraf, who's getting his ass kicked. Point blank. Living the dream, turned into a pincushion. I like the flavorful death messages, that's always pretty great. Oh, is that typically something that comes up at E3? More crossplay would be great. Sony's currently in the mode of being shitty about crossplay. It's like whichever system has a advantage in the install base tends to be shittier about that, which makes sense, I guess, but... Alright, so I might be able to teleport somewhere. So I'm not careful, though, I could die. Pretty cool power. Try to hold this guy's attention if we can here. Let's see. Does this actually cost AP? Cost of precision. That's fine. Try using Ricochet. Pretty good. This guy's not dead yet. We gotta burn him down soon. Come on, big crit! Bummer. I guess the enemy that was healing before was because I'd already cast a healing spell on him. Wolgraf is deadzo. Yeah, that's our first time an allied character has died. To see how that plays out. I think I have an ability to just pick him up after combat, though. It shouldn't be too bad. Okie dokie. Try to engage these guys at least. 58%. Not great. I'm gonna move him closer next time. Nice crit. Living the dream right there. Beauty. Wasn't there some talk for a while there about making the Xbox One like the same as a PC, like being able to play PC games explicitly, or I feel like I remember this conversation happening. That or all PC games being able to be treated as Xboxes and play all Xbox games going forward. It's funny, I played Taiko Drum Master, the arcade version at that Japanese arcade in Columbus. Cat and Donovan took us to. Okay, so we gotta pick up our dead party member. Oh, dead party members. Shit. How exactly does that work? I have resurrection scrolls. One-time use spell. Wait, that's not too expensive. Too bad I couldn't get a heal off on him in time. Poison is what finished him off there. Please don't regret this later. See how much they cost. Let's do some healing here. Myself for now. Anything that's first party, you can play an Xbox or PC or MS account associated with your Xbox. Yeah, I haven't bought an X. I don't think I own an Xbox One game on disc. Now that I think about it. I'm just gonna chill here for a bit and try to top everybody off. I don't think that there's a time speed mechanic in this, is there? Probably not. Like a wait button. I think the only thing I really care about at E3 is Smash Brothers. Like that's something where I feel like the hype can't ruin it. I don't know what it is about Smash that I can let myself get excited about.
Back on my feet again.
It's super interesting. I definitely prefer digital in most
Bless the
cases.
Seven, I am restored.
My only fear with digital, I'm really afraid that some of these platforms we take for granted are just not going to be available anymore. The Xbox store is going to shut down forever, and all these games I bought I'll never be able to re-download if anything ever happens. Like, it really bothers me that Quantum Break, which is a really cool game, depends on streaming the TV episodes. It doesn't actually like install that anywhere on your machine, because those servers are going to go down one day, right? So you're not going to be able to play that game in its original form. Doesn't Steam have some sort of like DRM unlock guarantee for if the service ever shuts down? I've heard of that. I don't know if it's actually a thing or not. Come on. They've made that claim. That's a good way to put it. They've made that claim. Yeah. GOG is all DRM free stuff, isn't it? Photographs almost topped off.
Sweet relief.
I feel like cooldowns should progress faster out of combat. Maybe that's something that they do in the sequel.
As good as a new penny. Back on my feet again.
According to people without net or who prefer to buy games on disc can still buy on disc, I think the utilitarian solution is to sacrifice your ability to sell that disc to GameStop to give everyone an Xbox ability to say, let this person on my friends list install and play this game that I own until I ask for it back. Yeah, there's a bunch of DS games that are no longer playable in their original... Was it Final Fantasy III you can't play? You can't do the whole thing because the service got shut down? Ugh. Man, that depresses me. I mean, the hope is that a lot of this is going to get solved through emulation. I've heard of some, like, game preservation projects that are trying to use emulation or other tricks to make sure that some of these experiences can be played. Like, it bums me out that there's a lot of MMOs that you will never be able to experience as they originally existed. Right. They did not sell the advantages of it. At all. They didn't sell the advantages of it, and they seemed surprised that people were mad. I don't know if it's pretty easy to be in a tight-knit corporate environment where you're not really talking to people on the street and just think of something as a good idea and not realize people are gonna flip their lids. A new waypoint and a new combat. Evil waypoint, looks like, maybe? Alright, I'm gonna chill here for a sec, I think. And let them come to me. Well, they probably have ranged weapons, maybe I should just start moving. Graph, let's use your teleport. Whoa, that's pretty crazy. I've never had that happen before. By teleporting into that location, I set myself on fire. Alright, well I gotta get him healed, like, really soon. We're gonna have a bad day. Wolgraff's gonna die again. Jiminy G's. Next time I want to shoot that rather than take all that damage for no reason. Can I dash into anybody? I have to have a target to dash into. Okay. I don't think I'm going to be able to save Wolgraff in time. I think he's going to die. It's a bummer. I guess I saved before this, so I can always pick up from there. That's sucky, spiky. I think the only way to, if you were to try to preserve a lot of MMO experiences, is you'd have to have like a revision history thing, like Google Drive does. You can roll back to specific patches, but just thinking about that as a project gives me a headache. Just from a testing perspective, yuck. We assume that's where they're going with Warcraft Classic, right? World of Warcraft Classic. That it's going to be like a revision history kind of thing. Target's blocked. Target's blocked. Blocked now.
This is the end.
Sweet. For you. Yeah, Wolgraff's having a bad day over here. Let me get him close to her. She can bandage him next turn so he doesn't die. I do not have the water spell that makes it rain. Nice miss, Wolgraff. Holy shit, that was terrifying. He was super close to dead. I think it's actually already raining, right? Looks like it anyway. That poor chest is burning a... Private servers have managed it. Try to hide as best as I can here. And the nice thing is that all those enemies died when I teleported in there. I guess now I know how that works. Try to use a potion on him. That's a self-heal. Whoops. Oh, Wolgraff's super dead then. Puts wet status on people. Everyone in the party is currently already in wet status, but... Become hastened. Looks like that lets me move further on the turn. Yeah. I'll have to keep that in mind. I'm excited to level up some of my characters and get new abilities. I'm pretty low on abilities at the moment. Ew, he used a healing spell. Gross. You can get the rogue to backstab him a couple times, though. Take a step to the left. Put my hands on my hips. Didn't count, but he died anyway, so everything is fine. Oh, why are we gonna fight again? Oh, there's more dudes back here? Holy shit. Okay. Wow. Well, that was the shortest victory ever. What does this ability do again? Warm status. I think that's a bad thing, not a good thing. Try to hide with him if we can. Still don't have bandage up, which is too bad. Ouch. Alright. so I can... Oh shit, I didn't mean to do that. I was going to try to heal there, but... I guess I'll open with more AP and can heal on his next turn. That won't be too terrible. Alright, let's do Ricochet. It's pretty good. Oh, don't kill Wolgraf! Good dodge. Thanks. Thank you. Alright, heal Wolgraf for sure. He's a super glass cannon. He's very strong, but he dies like instantly to any kind of pressure. Opportunity, dodge, thankfully. There we go. Feels pretty good. Appreciate the lack of ammo tracking in this game. There's no real reason for it, you know. Try to get this chest without dying to the fire. Before the chest burns down. Poison Cloud arrows. I think I need to use those more often. They're like consumable powers, but they seem to be very strong. You need to understand better how you're intended to use them.
Warmest dragon's breath.
Don't stand in the fire. It's like...
My kingdom for a
oldest
dry
rule. Too many consumables. Yeah, I agree. I'm curious if that changes significantly in the sequel. It makes it hard to track. Like, you kind of have this. This is a problem in Pillars of Eternity as well. I'm trying to think of how to describe it, but it's like the amount of time you have to spend thinking about your options. It's a really big problem in Dungeons and Dragons, right? If you give the player too many options and it's not easy for them to quickly sift through them and see what they do. It's not the same thing as option paralysis. It's not because you have too many choices necessarily, but just it's not readily accessible. Like, sometimes it's better for me to make the choice of just doing a normal attack than picking one of my abilities that I don't have to pause and think for 30 seconds about which one is best to use. That Shadow Hearts game we were playing yesterday had it where the protagonist has an extremely strong power that buffs all of his damage, but it takes like 10 seconds for the animation to complete to transform into it. So often it's not worth doing just because of the time it takes to go in that menu, make a selection, and wait for the animation to complete. A lot of time spent thinking about options takes up most of my life. Oh, I'd love to read that, Six Gun. Can you post it in Cool Stuff and tag me? I think it might be a genre problem. It's also one of those situations where, like, it is very easy to have a developer, designer... I love to... That'd be a great morning podcast to listen to while I work on stuff. When you're designing something versus when it's actually being played, it's very hard to realize in the designing process that something's going to be a pain in the ass. So I'm sure when they were coming up with the consumables in this game, they were like, oh, this will be really cool. You have a little arrow that poisons enemies. And you build on those so many times, it's easy to forget how big of a deal they are. So, Discord. How, intrusive they are to a smooth, fast gameplay experience. And some things are more intrusive than others. I hate random loot too. I really hate it. Unless if you're gonna go like lean way into it like Diablo and make the whole game about that, it just feels lazy. On the contrary,
Consumes me?
authored loot is awesome in almost every case. That's great. Excited to check it out. I don't think I have a way to look at my whole map, do I? It's in the log. No, I don't think I do. One of my characters leveled up, so let me assign that real fast. Attributes. Dex increases. Range damage. Speed is number of moves per. Those are both really good. I'm gonna do Dex. Ability points, can put more in bow. Oh, I can't right now. Okay. Defense. Skills. Leadership, charm, War Master, sneaking. I guess I could try to save this point for later. Expert marksman's already pretty high. Uses saving throws. Uses the movement penalty from armor. I don't think she really has any significant armor on right now. Well, that's really stressful. Kami.
I need to dry off.
Crafting is basically designed to encourage safe scumming, isn't it? To save them to get bow 2. Okay. Sure. That'll explain it. Do you know, Kami, is there a map button to pull up the whole map, or I just have the compass? I love it to track stuff that you've already opened. There are some really nice quality of life features in this. Fire got put out eventually. That's nice.
What's this? I found something.
What you found? Oh. That's cool. Nice. Antique cloth shoes of blue. Now, a reminder, how do I identify stuff? I feel like this was kind of complicated, wasn't it? Identify. Shoes of the thief. +1 pickpocketing. Okay. I don't think I have anyone that's already invested in pickpocketing. Use scrolls, right? 1 lore master in identifying class. Practice sword of bloodlust. Does air damage. Shocking. 10% chance to set stunned. Or strength 6. Send to melee. So what I'm doing right now, for example, is pretty stressful. I feel like the time you have to spend on this. Identified by Bear Daughter. Okay. +1 initiative, +3 movement. Compare. Worse armor rating, better initiative. Initiative's turn order in this game, is that right? More movement sounds nice. HP might be worth it. Try giving that to somebody else. Hair. Let's sort everybody's inventory too. I think that's a good idea. Thank God she's got all those points on Lore Master. Okay, shocking heavy two-handed practice sword Oh, Bloodlust. Oh wow, that is a huge upgrade. Yes. Equip, please. And my old one was kind of trash compared to that. Nice. Staves, I don't really have any mages in my party right now. Shepherd's Axe and Bloodthirst. 1 intelligence, 1 perception. Where's my mage robe thing here? Water resistance movement. Marstead, buddy, what are you doing with your life? Inventory. That's an upgrade. Although I think I may have put points into hammer with him. I'll have to double check. I lose an initiative, but I get water resistance and movement. I'll take it, I guess. Still have some resurrect scrolls, so that's good. Let me review what he can do. Character, abilities. Single-handed. Okay, so it didn't necessarily specify hammers, so the axe should be okay. Gotcha. Potatoes. Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew. Wolgraf, how you doing, buddy? You have basically nothing in your inventory. Okay. Bear Daughter, what's your deal? Yeah, it looks like that's just a flat upgrade over the old one. Okay. And the shoes get +1 pickpocketing. Probably want to give that to our new guy. So send that to Wolgraf. Inventory, fancy shoes. So the armor's slightly worse. What's his deal? Like, what points does he have and stuff? He has a point in pickpocketing, so we'll try using that later. Now, back to the main character, and let's quick save, because that was a lot of inventory management we just messed around with. So the whole end of time thing is really crazy. It just kind of just happens. Like, whoa, okay. Right, I guess I'm more important than I thought I was. I think that bomb-looking guy back there probably needs to die quickly. Doesn't seem great. Out of sight. Not enough action points. Yeah.
Meet your demise.
He blew up. Did a bunch of AoE damage. Right, so we want to shoot him in the future and not melee him to death. Sounds good. I don't even know why. Alright, whatever. Walked into that one. It's like a Dragon Quest enemy. Hopefully his movement isn't really high and he can't just run over and kamikaze us. I feel like that's what they're going with him. Ouch. Poison arrow. Ooh. Super gross. Super, super gross. Can't explode when wet. That makes sense. Doesn't count as backstab range, I guess? Okay. We have to be completely in there. I'm gonna quick load, because this did not go great. And that's like provenance of these games. If something is going badly, load your game. Really impressed that they were able to make a CRPG that works pretty well with a controller. Like, it's almost, I think it's intended to be played with a controller. It's kind of unheard of before this one, I feel like. again. Let's wait on our meter to fill. Try to get in there with Bear Daughter first, so maybe I can blow that guy up from distance. She doesn't have a lot of points in sneaking, though. Sneaking failed. Okay. It shows you when there's something blocking you. Good to know. Kaboom! That went much better than last time. Let's try to get everybody else to like split up so that when the enemy shoots his big nasty poison thing, it doesn't kill everyone
Looks like
instantly.
more of the Legionnaires sent to investigate the lighthouse.
Stay sharp, or we'll end up the same.
Ouch. Boiled. Oh, I'd love to cast fire on that puddle over there. Probably have some consumable fire effects. I need to figure out which characters have them. Now, presumably that little guy will inflict fire damage on everything when he blows up, so try to take advantage of that. So the corner of the poison can touch your pinky toe and cause you to get poisoned, but you have to be right in the center of the backstab cone for backstab the trigger. Sweet, totally worked. I love it. Can't see target, so that won't work. Let's move over here and conserve some AP. Can just barely not heal this turn. Walk on the fire squares, it will be bad. Ouch. Alright, look at all the level ups as the undead mage walks into the fire and dies. It's beautiful. It's good enough. Can't get a backstab from there though, unfortunately. Thanks, undead mage. Good looking out, buddy. After this combat, we'll switch to our next subblock game, which is Okage Shadow King. Wish I could force him to turn around. Can I reach him with my cure spell from back here? I can, look at that.
Seven, have mercy on your soul.
Nice shot. I don't think this guy, his back is against the wall, so I can't. So this will be our second session of Okage Shadow King. Immune to bleeding, I guess that makes sense. First to this Trixie's battle. They're like, oh! Don't do that. Got it. That was almost very bad. She almost shot a explosive barrel.
Your grave opens to welcome you.
Sweet. We'll pick up from here next time. It's perfect timing. And give me a few minutes. I gotta go set up the PS4 for Okage Shadow King. And we'll go ahead and get started with that soon. Thanks.